Major Panhandle fire thought to be exhausted Tuesday evening, reignited Wednesday with KNOP's Panhandle Roundup. I'm Andre Brooks. Victoria is off today. KNEB reports that firefighters returned to an area of Rolling Hills southwest of Alliance after Wednesday morning after leaving the scene late Tuesday, believing the fire had been put out. The chief fire ignited Tuesday morning, and after the majority of crews had been released very late Tuesday night, several were called back to the scene Wednesday morning as wind reignited smoldering embers. Aerial assistance was called in through an applicator plane of Grant. At last check, the chief fire had claimed more than 8,000 acres of land within Boxview and Morrill counties. And authorities have confirmed that a mountain lion was euthanized Wednesday evening in Scottsbluff County. Yesterday afternoon, a resident of Peacock Drive reported a mountain lion had jumped on the window of her front porch and began hissing at her dog. Soon after, the mountain lion left the residence traveling west Wednesday evening. A resident along Meadowlark Drive reported the mountain lion was in her backyard. Authorities arrived on the scene and quickly euthanized the mountain lion with a single shot, according to KNEB. Now to Kimball, where the City Council has approved installing 4 additional stop signs at the intersection of 7th and High School Streets. At the Kimball City Council meeting this past Tuesday, Kimball Mayor John Morrison says residents have requested stop signs at the intersections. The council eventually and unanimously decided to install 4 stop signs. Now let's take a look at our weather at this cloudy conditions here across the entire Panhandle of this late morning, and welcome to summer to Panhandle residents. And it is starting to feel like it too, because those temperatures are starting to increase, with temperatures mainly in the 70s and 80s, and we still have a few 60s there in Gordon and Chatham at this time. Here in Scottsbluff at 77, and we have a very warm 85 in Sydney. Now we do have a chance of seeing some strong to severe storms during the day today, and that means we could see some damaging winds, hail, large at times, and also an isolated tornado, and that's going to continue into the day on Friday as well, with the same threats applying, and we're just going to continue to see these rounds of showers and thunderstorms push on through the area, and it's just going to continue and continue as we get into Thursday evening, and then we're going to see kind of a repeat performance a little bit on our Friday as well. So it's going to be an active period around here. Now with sports with our very own John Clanton.
Welcome to the Sports Desk. The Gehring Platte Valley Companies, they were in action on Wednesday night, taking on Shattern in an Area 7 contest. And let me tell you folks, Gehring, they just keep on winning. They earned the 12-4 win. PVC's back in action for a weekend tournament. And finally, the National High School Finals Rodeo now set for Rock Springs next month. Several local cowboys and cowgirls set to represent Western Nebraska when competition begins. Leading the way will be Harrisburg's Wyatt Reichenberg. He enters nationals as a state champion in steer wrestling. Good luck to all the athletes on this list. That's all from the Sports Desk. Everyone have a great rest of the day and see ya.
Thanks, John. Turning to statewide news now on the Panhandle Roundup, as one suspect is in custody after a deadly double stabbing at the rest stop near Grand Island. Authorities says the incident happened yesterday around 7 a.m. when deputies responded to a disturbance call at the westbound rest area along I-80. Once on the scene, they discovered 2 victims suffering from stab wounds. The victims were transported to Grand Island Regional Hospital for their injuries. The victims were identified as 72-year-old Gary Weaver and his wife, 71-year-old Mary Weaver, both from Eureka, Missouri. Gary died from his injuries while Mary remains in critical condition at the Grand Island Regional. The Hall County Sheriff's Office believes this was an attempted robbery gone wrong that ended with both victims being stabbed. The suspect had already taken off before authorities arrived, but were able to get a description of the vehicle. NSP attempted to stop a vehicle matching the description at the Wood River interchange, but it took off. The suspect, 22-year-old James Thompson Jr. of Ohio, eventually drove the vehicle and the Platte River, where he was taken into custody and booked into the Hall County Jail. He was arrested on 8 felonies, including first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and assault, among other charges. The rest area was closed while law enforcement investigated. This is an ongoing investigation, and Local 4 will continue to provide updates as we receive them. And an important meeting is happening today for the Nebraska Board of Regents at 9 a.m. as they are set to make a decision on several critical topics that will impact the entire university system in Nebraska. One of the first items will be whether or not to approve the operating budget and tuition rates for the upcoming school year. Those were presented last week by Interim President Chris Kabarek. He stated that the proposed budget eliminates the university's current shortfall, but also has $11.8 million in permanent spending cuts across all of the Nebraska campuses. Now, quarterback's duties as interim president are slated to end on July 1st when Dr. Jeffrey Gold is installed as the university's next president. It's unclear if Gold was included on those budget decisions. Gold's contract agreement is also up for a vote today as Board of Regents meeting. On top of this, the board will also consider whether or not to approve the construction of Verizon Cell Tower at Memorial Stadium. Officials say that would help improve services quality for fans on game day. And a former Nebraska family is embarking on a 17,000-mile trek across the U.S., hoping to shine a light of grief. They started a nonprofit that provides resources for people who have lost a loved one after their daughter, Lily, was killed in a car accident in 2017. Joshua Naring has a plan to run to every single Capitol building in the U.S. over the next year, raising money along the way. He says he'll end up running about 60 miles per day, and that running is escape.
In a lot of ways, it's allowed me to reflect deeply on pain, specifically physical and mental pain, and what that is like, and the decisions that we're faced when we have pain in our life.
While Josh is running, his wife Stacy and the rest of the family are following along in an RV. His runs kicked off at Lily's gravesite in Rapid City, South Dakota earlier this month. He actually expects to make it to Lincoln today. That concludes this edition of KNOP's Panhandle Roundup. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.